Hi, Miguel here, back with another Naruto vlog. Today we are doing Volume 18, Tsunade's Choice, and this was a very slow-moving volume. That's not to say it was bad. It was very much focused on Naruto's training and Tsunade's backstory and why she is very hesitant to accept the offer of Hokage, but also not too keen on joining Orochimaru either. Tsunade is basically offered a choice between joining Orochimaru or joining Jiraiya, and it's a very tough decision, to be honest. While Orochimaru offers, we learn first of all that Tsunade, while being one of the three great shinobi, she actually had a younger brother named, I wrote his name down, Nawaki, I believe, if I wrote that name right. But her younger brother wanted to become Hokage, and so she gave him the necklace of the first Hokage, and it went for his birthday, and he was very happy. But he actually ended up dying in the Great War that happened around that time. I'm very interested to learn more about this war, but maybe in future volumes. I don't know. Maybe it'll come into play later. But her brother died in that war, and so she actually advocated for a medical professional to be included in the typical ninja four-man cell, and that's actually been something that has happened up to this point that people take for granted nowadays. But apparently, Tsunade actually had to fight for that to be in there. I feel like someone with medical knowledge be coming along on a dangerous mission. I feel like that would be common sense. To be perfectly honest, I feel like someone would have thought, hey, we're going on very dangerous missions, we're going to encounter really tough enemies, someone's probably going to get hurt or injured. Maybe we should bring someone along who can treat that. I don't know. I feel like that should be like bringing a medic along, or at least like some sort of like some medicine or a first aid kit along on such trips or on such missions would be like really important and something that they should have thought of right from the beginning, especially considering there was a war going on at this time. Like, come on, guys. But anyway, like, they do explain away a little bit of why that's not a thing. Like, Konohagakure doesn't have a medical school, and it would take a while to establish this medical school, to garner interest for it, so that makes a little more sense. But I still feel like that should have been done right off the bat. A lot of things in this world that just really like don't make sense in my head, but you know what, it's a minor gripe. Tsunade introduces the concept of maybe bringing someone along to keep the team alive, but and she actually gains support from another ninja, Dan, who also wants to become Hokage so that he can make all these necessary changes to Konohagakure's ninja system, so that he can advocate for a medic in the four-man group. And so Tsunade actually falls in love with him, and because he wants to be Hokage, she also gives him the first Hokage's necklace, the one that was meant for her younger brother. Dan dies in the war, and Tsunade ends up being unable to heal him. Apparently, Tsunade's thing is that she is capable of really healing any injury or healing any wound, which is why Orochimaru seeks her out. Because we recall previously, when we saw Orochimaru, he had his arms disabled by the third Hokage upon his death. So he is no longer able to utilize jutsus. He is no longer able to, do most of the things that ninja take for granted, because he is incapable of using his arms. So he wants Tsunade to find a way to heal him, and when he does, and he actually openly admits that once she heals him, he will go right back to destroying Konoha. I'm just gonna call it Konoha for now. But yeah, he says, like, I'm going to completely annihilate Konoha the moment you heal my arms. But in exchange, I will also reanimate Dan and Nawaki for you. They're going to be with you. They're going to be alive again. Well, kind of alive. And this is a forbidden jutsu that I'm the only one who knows it. I'm your only shot at ever seeing them again. So obviously Tsunade is like, this is a very big dilemma for me. The right thing to do would be to not help Orochimaru, but never see Dan and Nawaki again. But if I help him, he ends up destroying Konoha. That's not good for anybody, right? So on top of that, immediately after Orochimaru leaves, Orochimaru gives her 1 week to decide. She actually comes across Jiraiya and Naruto, who have come to the city to find her. And right away, Tsunade doesn't really get along with Naruto all that well. Jiraiya, we learn a little bit of the history. Jiraiya apparently had a crush on her, asked her out at one point, and she straight up, turned him down. But Tsunade, because of her history with Dan and Nawaki, both wanting to become Hokage and both of them dying without ever fulfilling that dream, she actually despises the title of Hokage. She sees the first 3 Hokage as being like fools. Like, why would you ever vie for the position of Hokage? It's a fool's errand to even think about that. That puts her at odds with Naruto. Naruto does not... he very much wants to be Hokage. That's his dream. He wants to attain that position so that to prove to the people of Konohagakure that he, despite having that nine-tailed fox spirit inside of him, he is capable of becoming such a great ninja that they have to respect him. And, of course, when Tsunade speaks ill of the Hokage name, Naruto gets very, very angry, and the two actually take it outside to fight it out. And Tsunade very arrogantly says, "Okay, I'm just gonna beat you with one finger, very easily." And it seems like she was making good on that promise, but Naruto actually starts forming the jutsu, the complicated A rank jutsu that Jiraiya was teaching him. He actually comes very close to achieving it and using it on Tsunade, completely throwing her off, because to her, Naruto is just a genin, he doesn't have much going for him. She could very easily take him out, being one of the 3 great shinobi. But Naruto actually manages to almost pull off that move, and we learned this move's name, Rasengan. I've actually heard that the name of that move before. It's like Naruto's signature move. It's like Goku's Kamehameha or something. I've heard him in some of the episodes of the anime go Rasengan, that kind of thing. But I'm very excited to see him finally master this move. It was very thrilling for me to see him start this move up and actually try to use it on Tsunade there, while at the same time thinking, oh my gosh, she's not going to survive that. But he pulls it off very poorly, according to Jiraiya. He still has a lot to learn. Speaking of Naruto, let's cut back to Naruto real quick, because he has been learning how to utilize this Rasengan. He has been learning with the rubber ball, which is the second stage to learning how to manipulate his chakra. And he has been struggling with the rubber ball thing for various weeks now. But the trick is to really focus his chakra onto his hand. And he actually recalls a moment with Master Iruka when he was younger. Iruka teaching him how to focus his attention onto balancing a leaf on his head, because the ninja who is able to concentrate on the task at hand is a great ninja. And that is why they have the leaf on their headbands, which is interesting. I love the little lore behind that. I'm glad we got to see that. But Naruto, in remembering Master Iruka teaching him how to do that, he actually turns the mark that Jiraiya placed on his hand. He turns it into a leaf, and by focusing on that leaf, by remembering what Master Iruka taught him, he is actually able to burst the rubber ball very easily. So the third stage of learning the Rasengan is actually to not only control your chakra flow to circulate within your palm, and also to generate enough power in order to make that Rasengan effective. He also needs to learn to focus it into a specific area in order to inflict enough maximum damage, because damage spread focused onto one point is much more powerful than damage spread out over a large area. So what happens is Jiraiya gives him a balloon, and he has to do the same thing he did with the first and second stages. He has to rotate the chakra in his hand. He has to make sure to generate enough power in order to make it in order to allow it to inflict enough damage, but he also has to do it all without bursting the balloon. If he bursts the balloon, that means he's not focusing enough. It means that he's not containing that energy to that one specific point to inflict maximum damage. And he is having a lot of trouble with this. When he attempts the Rasengan on Tsunade, he actually loses control of it. That third stage is what he is incapable of doing. So Tsunade actually makes a bet with him, being, the gambler that she is. She actually makes a bet with him saying that if he learns the Rasengan in 1 week, if he manages to perfect that, then she will accept that his dream to become Hokage, and she will also give him the necklace that she gave to Dan and Nawaki. But if he loses, if he's not able to master the Rasengan, she gets all his money. That seems like a very unbalanced bet right there. A very silly one at that. But Tsunade is very deliberate with the establishment of the time limit within which Naruto must learn the Rasengan, because you will remember that Orochimaru gave her a week to consider his offer. So in that week, Naruto has to learn the Rasengan, but that gives Tsunade enough time to stall Jiraiya's offer, as well as Orochimaru's offer, and really think about it. And Naruto is so intent on winning this that he practices day and night. He's barely ever at the inn anymore, and Jiraiya the whole time is hanging with Tsunade. It's very interesting, this dilemma that Tsunade has, because ultimately, near the end of the volume, she actually decides to heal Orochimaru with the condition that he would refrain from destroying Konoha. Lay off Konoha, otherwise I won't do it. Of course, I don't entirely trust Orochimaru. He claims to be a person who detests lying, so he claims to be an honest person at the very least, despite being a very horrible person. But I still don't trust him. I still don't think he's trustworthy. I still don't think this is a good deal, because no one gets anything out of it. I don't even think he's going to reanimate Den and Nawaki for her. Well, maybe he might, because it doesn't really cost him anything. But it's just, I don't think he will leave Konoha alone if Tsunade subjects herself to this deal. So what Tsunade actually does is she puts a sleeping drug into Jiraiya's wine, and that means he actually gets knocked out to a point where she can slip away and she can heal Orochimaru on the 7th day without Jiraiya ever stopping her or suspecting a thing. And Naruto, meanwhile, she doesn't have to do anything to him, because he has been training so hard trying to master the Rasengan, and it is actually specified in the previous volume that whenever you use up a large amount of chakra, it actually hurts. Like, the more chakra you use, the more pain you feel, and that's how you can measure the power of your chakra, by how much it hurts to use it. And Naruto has been using so much chakra that he actually burns his hand, and he's actually knocked unconscious, and Tsunade says, well, the amount of chakra he's been utilizing, he's probably not going to wake up for the next 2 days. That means that I can completely ignore this deal, this bet that we had, and I can just go straight to Orochimaru. Naruto's probably not going to wake up tomorrow. I mean, he's not going to wake up today, so he's going to wake up tomorrow. We're all good. But, of course, Tsunade forgot that Naruto has the Nine-Tailed Fox inside of him, which actually makes him wake up on the day of the 7th day. So now Naruto and Jiraiya actually manages to wake up with him. So Naruto and Jiraiya are actually informed of Tsunade's decision and her deal with Orochimaru by Tsunade's, I think it was her assistant or her servant, Shizune, who is apparently the niece of Dan. And Shizune told them, I didn't want her to do this. I was actually determined to stop her from going to Orochimaru, but she didn't. She wasn't going to listen. Maybe she'll listen to you. Maybe you can stop her. So right now, Naruto and Jiraiya are hurrying over to Tsunade to make sure that she does not give in to Orochimaru's demands. And that's kind of where it ends. We see Tsunade make the deal with Orochimaru. We see her go, "Hey, I will heal your arms, but in exchange, you cannot hurt Konoha," which is not something that I think Orochimaru intends to abide by. So yeah, that was the end of the volume. I will say this about Tsunade: despite the fact that we focused so much on her in this volume, I don't find her that interesting of a character. Her design, first of all, very fan servicey. There are several panels that I look at where I'm like, okay, that was definitely made so someone could like really, really get off on that. She has a very a very attractive physique that just like it seems very clear what they were trying to go for when designing her, which like I'm not all too crazy about. I kind of hope that she improves her appearance in future volumes. I get it. She wants to remain young. She wants to remain attractive, but still, I wasn't really a big fan of it. And her personality, while it's interesting to see her backstory, I still wasn't able to see the like progression from like having lost the love of her life and her brother to this obsessive gambling thing. It is interesting to see that her why she dislikes the Hokage name and why that becomes very problematic for the people of Konohagakure, who need a new Hokage as soon as possible because of the Akatsuki. But I'm just not feeling it, you know? I kind of wish that and like a lot of the character arcs in Naruto so far have a lot of my favorite ones anyway have been based around their interactions with Naruto and the way they've changed because of Naruto, and I think this is starting to go along the same route, considering that Tsunade is turning down the title of Hokage, which makes Naruto mad because the title of Hokage is like what he's wanted his whole life, right? So Tsunade, it looks like they might go that route, that in which she learns the value of being Hokage and the importance of the responsibility that she needs to take on from Naruto's passion for that responsibility. But as of right now, despite like that whole volume, learning Tsunade's backstory, seeing her interact with Naruto, I'm not the biggest fan of her right now. I don't think she's my favorite character. But like, who knows? In future volumes, maybe she might end up growing on me in the way that Gaara did, in the way that I'm hoping Neji is going to. So, yeah, that should just about do it for Volume 18. And in addition, that does it for this omnibus. We are moving on to Volume 19 right here, and I will see you then.